Welcome to this explainer from the IELTS Focus. Okay, let's talk about the IELTS speaking test. You get that question? Describe a job, and suddenly your mind just goes blank. Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're definitely not alone. And today, we're going to fix that. We'll break down exactly how to structure your answer, pack it with great vocabulary, and give you the confidence to totally nail it.
Okay, so here's the plan. First, we'll look at a simple four-part framework. Then we'll dive into each of those parts: the introduction, how you got the job, why it's important, and your feelings about it. And to wrap it all up, we've got a great vocabulary toolkit for you.
All right, first things first, the four-part framework. Look, the secret to a great score isn't just about having good vocabulary. It's about structure. Think of it like a blueprint for your answer. It keeps you on track, helps you build your ideas logically, and honestly, it just makes you sound super confident and put together.
And here it is. Super simple, right? 4 easy steps. You introduce the job. You explain how you'd get it. You talk about why it's important to you, and you finish up by sharing how you feel about it. Following this flow is a game changer, especially when you're under pressure. It keeps you from rambling and helps you give a really smooth, coherent answer.
Okay, let's get into the details. Starting with part 1, your introduction. You know what they say about first impressions, right? This is your chance to grab the examiner's attention right from the start. So let's make it a good one. Now, what I love about this is that it's like a build-your-own intro. You can just pick and choose phrases here to create something that sounds totally natural. For example, you could say, I'd like to talk about a unique seasonal opportunity I've been dreaming of, which is working as a ski instructor. See? Then you can add, this isn't a long-term career move, but more of a short-term gig that I would love to land in a country like Japan. It flows so well, and it doesn't sound like you've just memorized a script, which is exactly what you want. Okay, intro's done. Next up, part 2, the acquisition. Basically, this is the how part of your story. How did you find out about this job? What would you actually need to do to get it? This part is awesome because it shows the examiner you've actually thought this through and you're not just winging it.
So the key here is to show you've done a little homework. For instance, you could say something like, I actually stumbled upon this role while I was browsing a travel blog. And, to bag this job, I'd need to apply for a working holiday visa. Then you can add, it requires a bit of legwork since these jobs are usually highly sought after. See how that adds some real detail? It makes your story so much more believable.
All right, on to part 3, the significance. Now this is where the magic happens. This is where you talk about why this job matters to you. We're going beyond the money here. What would you get out of it personally? This is your chance to really connect with the examiner and make your answer unforgettable. So, we're not talking about job duties here. We're talking about personal growth. This is where you can really shine. For example, what makes this a really precious item on my bucket list is the chance for real cultural immersion. I honestly believe this experience would be a huge feather in my cap. It would let me step way out of my comfort zone and just broaden my horizons. That kind of answer shows so much more about you.
And now for the grand finale, part 4, your feeling. You've built this great story, and now it's time to end with a punch. The final thing the examiner hears should be powerful. Sharing your emotions, your motivation, that's what's going to leave a lasting impression.
This is where you really connect on a human level. You could finish with something like, honestly, I am incredibly keen to make this happen. And look, the pay might not be lucrative, but the memories, they'd be worth their weight in gold. Landing this job would be a personal milestone, a thrilling adventure, and would just give me a huge sense of fulfillment. Okay, so you've got the structure down. Now let's level up your language. We're going to dive into a vocabulary toolkit packed with phrases that will make your answer really stand out. Using these isn't just about showing off big words. It's about being more precise and effective, and that's a huge part of your score. First up, let's ditch the phrase temporary job. It's fine, but a little boring. Instead, try something like short-term gig or brief stint. It just sounds way more natural, like you're actually having a conversation, not reading from a textbook. Here's another great one. If you're talking about a job that's really competitive, instead of just saying it's popular, say it's highly sought after. It's just a more sophisticated way to put it, and it really shows off your language skills. Oh, I love this idiom, a feather in your cap. It's such a great way to say something is a huge achievement you'd be proud of. And using idioms like this correctly, it shows the examiner you have a really deep, almost native-like feel for the English language.
This one's a classic, but it's a classic for a reason. Broaden one's horizons. It just perfectly describes what happens when you get new experiences, especially in another country. It immediately tells the examiner that you're someone who is interested in personal growth.
And last but not least, for a really powerful ending, try this one. Saying an experience is worth its weight in gold. Wow, it just paints such a vivid picture, right? It emphasizes that the value isn't about money, it's about something priceless. Using powerful language like this makes your answer so much more memorable. So there you go. You've got the framework, you've got the vocabulary toolkit. Now it's your turn. The only thing left is to practice, put these pieces together, and you're going to feel so much more prepared for your speaking test. So, what job are you going to describe?